tamasho ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritangamaya avir maidhi rudro yatte dakshinang mukham te namang pahi nityam te namang pahi nityam om shanti shanti shanti. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light and illumination. Lead us from death to immortality. And even more shine in our hearts with your resplendent face. Peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we are reading the Shanti Gita. Shanti Gita, which is the advice of Bhagavan Krishna. You can also come this side, so that distribute yourself in so many places, not keeping a little distance. Go behind. Don't block other people, so that we can see the faces of all. Very good, thank you. If you have the mask, you can use the mask. If you have not, that's okay. So this Shanti Gita is actually, as many of you are new, this is the advice of Bhagavan Krishna to Arjuna again. Not much popular. You cannot find this book, and it's never been translated into English. So this book is when in the Kurukshetra war, when Abhimanyu, the son of Arjuna, was killed in the war unethically. And Krishna, when that news reached Arjuna, he was totally grief-stricken and he was lost all sense of doing any fighting anymore. That time Sri Krishna gave the second advice, these verses. So there 7 chapters are there, and we are in the 6th chapter, almost we have reached the end of this. So there Bhagavan Krishna gave the same type of very Vedantic teaching. Atman, the self, undying self, that birthless, deathless entity of ours. This body, mind comes, goes. It is not eternal. So there is no question that you should be troubled by anything else, because who I am not. This what I am seeing. So that is the highest philosophy. Now the question came here in the chapter what we are reading, that how this creation comes. This chapter is very interesting. It talks about Brahman, the Chaitanyam, Chaitanye Bimale Purne Kashmin Deshonumattakam Agyanamuditang Sattang Chaitanya-spuritam-āsritam. In the stainless absolute, that conscious field, there arises little ignorance and small degree, and taking refuge in the reality and manifestation of that consciousness, this world appears. So there comes the question, then he said, how this absolute one will be appearing as this universe? You call Maya, what is that? How it happens? So actually in Vedantic perspective, highest Vedanta, this world is not there. What we see is a hallucination of mind, misinterpretation of the mind. Mind interprets according to its sattvika, rajasika, tamasica quality, and it appears in so many ways. and it is not existing at all. Because, as we all understand, this world vanishes individually, not cosmic. Cosmic play goes on, but individually when we go to bed and just start sleeping, this whole world vanishes for us. There's no entity, there's no reality in it. And then when we dream, dream world becomes the reality. And where the dream comes from? From your own mind. All the subconscious thought, or the whatever thought, and out of that something comes out, mixed with, and we see the world, another world. There is water, there is air, there is fire, everything is there. There is all sense objects, there is eyes, but not these eyes, not this water. They are called the subtle tanmātrā. Water, pure water. Fire, pure fire. Space, this space. It's finer than that space. So everything remains, that's called in the subtle body. And when you go to deep sleep, then all converge into the ego. I. What I'm calling I. And that's why that I is covered in an ignorant state. That's why we do not know anything. Neither this world remains, neither the dream world remains. So what remains? We say, I do not know. Our expression comes when I come out of a deep sleep. I do not know, but I had a good sleep. I slept well. How can you say I slept well? Unless there is somebody who is observing the sleep. How can you say that I started from my home at 6 o'clock? Unless you have experienced that. Your experience must be there to have the afterwards memory. Memory needs experience before. And when you say I slept, that means there was a time, that there was a sleep activity, and you have observed that. That is the unchanging I. It is now saying I am speaking. That will say I dreamt. That I is not connected with it. I is an observer, observing all these functionality of the external and internal, or gross or subtle, or they call the causal. So unchanging reality is, you cannot touch that. It is undistorted. It cannot be touched by time, space, causation, mass, month, age, year. Thousands of years it goes on. That I consciousness remains the unaffected. But this, what I see, this physical body, it changes. The dream changes. Yesterday's dream, not today's dream. Yesterday's person, you are not the same person, today's person. Yesterday's sun is not the same today's sun. Because everything is changing and it is deteriorating, it is expanding, whatever it is not permanent, it is not eternal. So what is that eternal? That is the I, real unchanging I in us, which we call Atman, Brahman, consciousness, all this different terminology. But no terminology actually is sufficient to express that truth. That's why Upanishad always is replete with these thoughts. Bhavang manasa gocharam. Beyond the bak, speech, mana, mind. It is untouched by them. It stands in its own dignity and profundity, its grand state of consciousness and bliss. So that was the thing. But suddenly the question came, how this universe has come? Out of that absolute, unchanging absolute, how this ghost body, causal body, subtle body, we were all talking about, where did it come from? Well, it didn't come. It is your mental hallucination. A very difficult subject. That's why this is Maya. Maya has created a term, Maya. What is Maya? Yama, which is not there, but appears to be there. It's called Maya. Swami Vivekananda is the statement of fact. I am seeing you, this is Maya. I am eating, that is Maya. I am sleeping, that is Maya. Everything in name and form. It is the same truth is understood in a different way. So, he said that is absolute Brahman. I gave this, it is a different, another sheet was there, that division. It is given. Suppose you, just to give a diagram of a picture, that is the absolute Satchidananda is above, beyond time-space causation. And then from there comes Maya. Maya is not separate from Brahman. It is the power of manifestation. The person and the power of manifestation is not too different. The power to talk and the person talking. Can we separate out the talk part here and the person here? Similarly, that cosmic reality which is called Brahman has the power, and that power is called Maya Shakti. Ramakrishna gave the example. It is like the snake is not moving, sitting idle, and snake in the zigzag motion. That power of this zigzag movement is not separate from that snake itself. Similarly, the Brahman has this when it comes into action. It is called the Shakti, or cosmic Maya, cosmic delusion. It happens in the mind of whom? Not your mind, my mind. It happens in the mind of the cosmic personality. It is called Saguna, Ishvara. So Brahman, in that which is this hidden Shakti, the power, cosmic power, Maya, when it manifests, it becomes Ishvara, the creator God. And how he creates? He creates, he has three magic sticks, and Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Sattva quality, Rajas quality, Tamas quality. And with the different permutation and combination and the subtlety of it and the grossness of this, is the gross universe has come, subtle universe is there. So this is just an explanation that this, to explain the world, how this world exists, where I am talking, where I am feeling hungry, where I am thirsty. What can I find out of it? That is Maya Shakti, play of the Maya Shakti. So, we have read the verse number 27 before, 26 also. There, it's a little complicated in one day to go to that. It says that, verse we read, 24, tri-vidhaḥ, it says, sūkṣma-ni pañca-bhūtāni sthūla-ni vakrita-ni. They are saying that this, it has come, mahat-tattvaṃ, the buddhi, intellect, and that's a Sankhya philosophy, of course. Vedanta will say, I come first, ego. Then comes buddhi, intellect. Then comes mind. Then comes prana. And then comes the physical part, pancha, five sense organs of perception, organs of action, 5, 5, 10, 5 elements, air, water, fire, etc. 3 into 5, and 5 subtle elements. Subtle elements 5, gross elements 5, 10, or pancha-prana sometimes it is said. So this 20 plus mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, they are all can be counted as 24 cosmic principles. Is this really true? In Vedantic idea, this is all just description. But to ignorant people like us, to give some idea in our brain, to make it reasonable and rational, this suggestion is given. So, sūkṣma-ni, means subtle, pañca-bhūtāni, 5 bhutas. 5 bhutas are what? 5 bhutas are air, water, fire, sūkṣma-bhūta, sthūla-ni vakrita-ni. Sthula, in this meditation, here, we drink water, we have the fire, body temperature, you can see that there is fire, jathuragni even he say. breathing. So, air, water, fire, and then space, air, kshiti, āp, tej, marut, bam. Anyhow, these 5 elements. Then the gross level. Gross level has come from the subtle level. Subtle things have come from this cosmic Maya's principle, manifesting in sattva, rajas and tamas quality. So that chart is there, so I don't want to dwell much on that intricate description of the creation theory. This creation theory is actually, to a Vedanta student, has no value. Because it is all playing in the role of Maya, which is non-existing. There is nothing, but you are seeing something. There is nothing? Well, no, not as nothing, but that is as Satchidananda. We say no thing. In that state of experience, no thing remains. Even your deep sleep, no thing is available. It is what remains? That remains. You feel, I slept well. Sleeping well and enjoying some bliss, that remains. Because you go to the very close proximity of Satchidananda Brahman. Every day we go to that and come back the same old guy. No transformation. But if one goes constantly being aware of that state, by meditation, with mind being fully awake, move to that part, then you become a saint. The saint and we, the ordinary people, is difference that we every day go to touch that Brahman. But with the veil of ignorance, we cannot touch. Where the mind is sleeping, who will feel? Buddhi is dull, gone. Ego is not functioning. Ego is also sleeping. All are sleeping. It goes to the causal form. And when it comes back, it retains some experience of joy. But when one can go constantly, step by step into meditation and finer, touching the soul, who am I? And reaches that I consciousness, unchanging I, touching one, he becomes a jivan mukta, becomes liberated while living. And then come down and live in the world. Sthita prajna. In the Bhagavad Gita we hear about the para-bhakti, bhakta, real bhakta, whose ego is just dissolved. So that state is reached. So now, still this creation theory is there. We just have to read it little bit. And if I had a chart, I had a chart, but I had not brought it. Next time, remind me so that I can give that big chart. Very beautifully done. How? And according to Panchadasi. These are all ideas of this same philosophy, Vedanta Sara, Panchadasi, this text, Vedantic text we can find there. They try to make us reasonably understand how the creation has come. But in experience, that all this vanishes. When Ramakrishna was experiencing Mother Kali, and what he saw? That time, the wall was there, temple was there, mother's image was there, and the floor was there. He was aware of it. He was thinking, what's the use of my life? And he was going to kill himself. No? And in a flash he saw the mother's image become bright and living and effulgent. And that effulgent light emitting from mother's body covered the whole vision, the wall, everything melted as it were in light and consciousness. And there, after a long time, he just drowned into that, he lost himself. And he stayed in that condition that day and next day. When he came back to awareness, he became Ramakrishna. He was Ramakrishna. I am talking for a human aspect of him. I cannot consider him like you and me and we ordinary people, not that. But I am saying, taking the human aspect with this, when that experience comes, everything dissolves. And then Thakur used to go every day into Samadhi, every day 5, 10, 20 times going to Samadhi, coming back. You never be heard of that any other person going, excepting Sri Chaitanya sometimes. But anyhow, sometimes not. He was also ecstatic. He used to go now and then like that. Antardasa, Vajradasa, Bahirdasa. So internal attitude. So now, that is not my point. Point is that here, when you merge, your total ego dissolves. Swami Vivekananda sang that song. Nahi Surya, Nahi Jyoti, Nahi Shashanko, Sundaro, Mashivobi, Chayadalo, Chobi Vishwachara. There is no sun, there is no moon. This whole world appears like a dream in space. It is bubbling up and down in that infinite. Siddharao, Baddholo. That flow of disappearance stops. Shunne, Shunna Milailo. There, the void which was not there entered into void. That means this world is not there in that experience. Avang manashagocharam. Is it void? As is explained in the Buddhistic thought, wrongly understood. Ramakrishna said, why Buddha will be non-believer? He could not express what he experienced. Swami Vivekananda says, Avang manashagocharam, boje pran, boje jar. It is not void. Who have that type of experience level, he can also come down and tell us, yes, there is something concrete. So this is the same expression. Ultimately, this world is not there. But we are in that level, in this external world, we live, breathe, eat, no? So there we have this universe. It is because of the Maya. So that we are studying here. We'll quickly pass through those technicalities of it. We can avoid it. If you want to study, then it will take longer time and we need some background of Buddha. So here 28th verse we read today. Maya upādhi-bhaved īśaha, Maya upādhi-bhaved īśa, ca-vidya-jīva-kāraṇam, ca-vidya-jīva-kāraṇam, śuddha-sattvādhikā māyā, śuddha-sattvādhikā māyā, ca-vidya-sa tamomayi, ca-vidya-sa tamomayi. Two things we have heard the other day we read. Maya upādhi, when the cosmic consciousness is covered by that ignorance, cosmic ignorance called Maya, his name becomes Ishvara. Maya upādhi-bhaved īśa. And avidya, when that infinite consciousness is covered by individual ignorance, my ignorance covers the sun, then I think I am jiva, jīva-kāraṇam. That is the cause of becoming a jiva. So, maya upādhi, when you take the upādhi, upādhi means juxtaposition. You impose something on something. Upādhi. Upādhi. This, what is the upādhi? Oh, he's an engineer. Engineer is an upādhi. Engineering skill may go away. That is not when a cook is an upādhi, when he is cooking. When he does not cook, we cannot say he is a cook. That upādhi does not stay there. So when the same consciousness, cosmic level it works, it is called Ishvara, the Lord, God who created. All the Judeo-Christian idea, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, they can come to this Ishvara concept, monotheistic God. It is covered by cosmic ignorance. Vedantic perspective, it is covered by the cosmic ignorance in that vast changing absolute truth, appears as Ishvara. And Ishvara has all these qualities of compassion, love, destruction, all the power is there. That's why God creates, destroys, sustains, maintains, srishti, sthiti, pralaya, 3 words are there. That's why we say God, Lord, is the controller of everything. So this is Saguna Brahma. This is called Maya. Maya upādhi bhavet Isha. He is named, he becomes Ishvara. Brahman becomes Ishvara with Maya. Simple formula. When Brahman is added with this cosmic ignorance or Maya, who has upādhi, then you call the same sun, suppose same sun, sometimes clouds come, no? Huge cloud, and it can make a picture like that. You can think there is a tiger, there is a elephant. You can see, it looks like that. But it is no tiger, no elephant. But it's a cloud, and cloud has non-existence. It is appearing, it will disappear. When it is cosmic covering like that, you call him Ishvara, God, Lord, oh Lord, you are all powerful. And then patch, one patch cloud here is a infinite number of patches of clouds appear to be. This is one patch. Everyone is one little patch of clouds, no? And then when it see through that, here is a consciousness. In all of us there is consciousness. A crawling worm is there is consciousness. The plant has consciousness. And modern science has gone up to prana or energy, but our Upanishad rishis have gone further beyond the prana, pranasya prana, and that is the foundation, that's called the consciousness, no? And that consciousness is everywhere. But when it is covered in the cosmic level, we call God, Lord, no? And when it happens in individual level, it is called jiva. Very simple. That's why Ramakrishna Vivekananda said in one place, who is called God? Sum total of individual souls. What a beautiful Swamiji's modern explanation of jiva, Ishvara and jiva. Swami Vivekananda says, God is the sum total of individual souls. Sum total. As many jivas are there. Add a crawling one, the COVID germ, no? This bacteria. It has behind that consciousness. Do whatever, all the variants are coming. From there, micro, to the cosmic level, go to the sun, moon, stars, galaxies. Everywhere is that. It is called the consciousness behind. So it is the jiva is in a limited place, and the cosmic level it is called Ishvara. Śuddha-sattvādhikā. But the distinction is that śuddha-sattvādhikā maya. When śuddha-sattva, pure, sattvika quality covers that, that is called maya. That means God does not get bound by his maya. He is a free soul, or he or she, whatever you want to say. You cannot say God is he or God is she. There is no gender in it. But anyhow, we say he. But śuddha-sattvādhikā, when adhika, great, will be sattvika quality, preponderance of the sattvika quality, then it will be maya. What is maya is been defined. That means in maya there is no bondage, but in avidya there is bondage. We are jivas in avidya. That is the cha avidya sa tamomayi. The same when it is tamomoy, tamas quality, preponderance of tamas, that is the jivas. Preponderance of sattvika quality is Ishvara. Preponderance of tamas quality is the jiva, we. So, cha avidya, that is called the avidya. Meaning, under the influence of avidya, we become jiva, individual soul. And under the impact of the cosmic ignorance, with the sattvika quality being predominant, that is called Ishvara. But these are all qualities. Sattva quality, rajas quality we are talking about, they are called qualities. And is there that these qualities really are there? Vedanta will say, no, I am trying to make you understand these words. I am creating a ghost to say there is no ghost. Children, that's a traditional example in our scriptures. A child gets frightened from ghost. Somebody has told there is a ghost, don't go that side. And child thinks so much every day, he never in darkness will go that direction. But boy is growing up, or girl is growing up, then mom thought of how to remove this fear. So he created a ghost in one corner. And then with a terrible looking with 2 horns and 5 arms, and eyes are red and violent. Then you can create this ghost with 5 arms. You can create with 10 arms. You can create a sword in the hand. You can give a gun in the hand. I can do that. But this is the concept of ghost. Ghost is not there. It is created in the mind of the child. So we are like child, we are in the ghost fear. So the sages are creating this ghost picture, and then they will, with a Gyanagni, with the striking of a matchstick, mother did that. Mother went and said, baby, his child is not going. And you have become now 6 years, 7 years, go that side. No, there is a ghost. Ghost? Let me go. Where is that? I see that ghost. You see, ma, there is ghost. Okay, I'll kill that ghost today. Then he goes and strikes a match. See, the ghost is burned today. And the child's fear goes away forever. With the striking of the match, with the striking of the knowledge, wisdom, eye of wisdom, when the knowledge dawns in the heart, ghost disappears. There is no Agyan, there is no Avidya, there is no Maya. He sees Brahman everywhere. He is established in the eternal peace. He is Jivan Mukta. That is the goal of human life, no? Jivan Mukti, Sukha Prapti, Hetave Janmadharitam. Atmana Nitya Mukteno, not to Samsara Kammaya. Jivan Mukti Sukha Prapti. To experience this sukha, happiness of Jivan Mukti, the liberation in living in the body, walking in the ground, see Brahman everywhere. Soaked in the laws, joy of God consciousness, no? Seeing God everywhere. Ramakrishna is to see God everywhere. The floor, the door sill, everything is vibrant. What? Can it be believed that this is Brahman, this is Brahman? We say, Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi. What do we say? What is Brahmarpanam? Something we are giving something to Brahman. No. Arpana is the hatha, hand, with which you are taking food. You are giving an analogy of food, eating. Brahmarpanam, this is Brahman. Brahmahobi, the food you are taking, that's a hobby. The ghee. And then Brahmarpanam, Brahmahobi, Brahmagno, there's a fire in your stomach. In that Agni, in that fire, you are offering Brahmagno. And then it is digested, Brahmana-bhutam. After that, we digest it. But everything is Brahman. Only you are giving different names. Brahmaiva teno gantavyam. The end result is to reach that Brahman. Brahma karma samadhina. So everything is permeated with Brahman. All duality dissolved. So that is the question. Now, then, because I am in ignorance, I am seeing this world of diversity. And because God also in Maya. But Maya does not bind God. Shankaracharya says, no, sang, mayang, controlling his own Maya, he becomes Ishvara. Then he becomes avatar. Saprayana-bhāvena-upī, samayaya. By his own magical power of Maya, he appears as avatar, like Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Christ. So they retain the same power, what is in Ishvara's power. But they live like an ordinary person, difficult to recognize. So here, and the beauty of this, they are not bound. They look like us, but they are not bound. But we are bound because we dwell in the avidya and they dwell in the cosmic ignorance. That's called Maya. And Maya Shakti is not binding, but avidya Shakti binds. It is like that. Two people live in a jail, prison house. One, the jailer is also lives inside. And also the person who is under punishment, that person is also in the jail. But one is jiva, one is Ishvara. The person who has committed some mistake, he is in the jail, but he is bound. He has no freedom to move any direction. But there is the jailer. He is within the jail, but he can go out, he can enter any place, and he cannot. He can stay, cannot stay. It is all freedom. So this is like a God and the jiva. This is the distinction. So this is the 28th verse. Now this is sattvika quality, no? So sattvika quality is preponderance of sattvika quality. The limiting adjunct of the collective ignorance Maya that creates God. And the individual ignorance of Vidya is the cause of individual soul jiva. Maya is predominantly a pure sattvika nature and avidya is made of tamas. 29. Malina-sattva-pradhānā malina-sattva-pradhānā avidya avaranatmika avidya avaranatmika chidabhāsa tatra jīva chidabhāsa tatra jīva salpagyaschapi tadvasaha salpagyaschapi tadvasaha chaitanye kulpitang sarvam chaitanye kulpitang sarvam buddh eva varini buddh eva varini. Now we have talked about Ishvara condition, how Brahman become Ishvara, no? Are you clear? Ishvara is preponderance of sattvika quality. Under Maya, same Brahman is called Ishvara. And the same cosmic consciousness, Brahman, is the individual tamasa pradhāna, preponderance of tamasa quality gives this idea of jiva.
I'm just thinking that maybe not everyone knows what tamas, sattva, and rajas is.
Oh, sattva, rajas and tamas, yeah, that I think everyone knows. Sattva quality is what? Sattva is the purer quality, like the transparent glass. That's a sattva. It manifests more brightly. Rajasa, suppose you cover over this sattva, cover one another with a darker, say a red sheet of paper. The light will be coming, look like red, and it will be diffused. And then you cover another layer with some black sheet. So the light is inside, it's coming to trying to come out, but very little light comes out or does not come out. So this is called the tamasa. Tamasa is the darker covering, rajasa is the little less, but not allowing to manifest the pure nature. And sattvika is almost pure, but you cannot touch the light. You have to break that. Sattva glass should be broken to reach the filament inside. So this is the example. Don't match it every time that there will light will be not there. Don't say that. So now we are reading 29. malina-sattva-pradhānā hi avidya āvaranatmika. Avidya, which is āvaranatmika, means which covers our nature. Avidya, we have talked about avidya, individual ignorance, avidya, āvaranatmika. Its nature is to cover. It does not allow me to see what I am. Avidya, individual ignorance, is malina-sattva-pradhānā. It is of the nature of malina means blemish. Malina means what? Dark malina. Malina is due to soil. Darker soil. Malina-sattva-pradhānā. Dull. So, malina-sattva-pradhānā hi avidya. Individual ignorance, which has made me this little petty one, it is āvaranatmika. It covers our real nature. As I gave the example, covering the glass with a darker veil. Avaran. Avaran means covering. Chid ābhāsas tatra jīva. That jīva is there as a reflected through that. Reflected consciousness. You know, the moon, the sun is in the sky. And its reflection falls into the water, cool water, no? You can see the full reflection when it is water does not, you get not disturbed. It's a calm and serene and pure water. But when it ripple, you can see the sun, but it's split into pieces as it were. So this individual, āvaranatmika, it covers the nature of ours. Chidābhāsas tatra jīva. That here there is reflected in that consciousness. What is reflected is called chit abhasa. Abhasa means the reflection of the chit consciousness. Consciousness reflected there is called jiva. And what is the nature characteristic of jiva? Salpaggaschapi. It is salpagga. It knows only little, as we are. How much knowledge we have about this world, we have developed in science, technology, this, that. How much we know of the universe. How much we know of our own body. How much you know about your functionality. Or go to every specialization, field of specialization. Let's say the brain surgeon, the topmost brain surgeon. Does he know everything about brain? Huh? So you go, you are a Nobel laureate. You got a new research, a new experiment. How much you know? Infinite is the thing to be known. There is no limit of it. So that's why āvaranatmika it covers, and it's called salpagga. If you know, then you know alpa. Only little you know, salpagga. And it is a bhasa. Tat bhasa means it is controlled. It is controlled by that. It is controlled by that cosmic Ishvara. Jiva is controlled by Ishvara. Tad bhasa. Chaitanya kalpitang sarvam. Everything is imagined in the consciousness. If there is no consciousness, no question of creation. If there is no ocean, you cannot think there is wave, ripple, bubbles, foam. All are there because the ocean is there. In this world of duality, so much good, so much bad, and all this going on. Everything is going on because the ocean is the ground, unchanging ground, no? Upon which the surface, all these ripples, bubbles, and all dancing of the things are going on. So, it is called Chaitanya in the cosmic consciousness, Kalpitam, it is imagined, Sarvam, like Budbudaiva Bharidi, like the Budbud bubbles, the ripples, no? In the waters. So, is water different from the ocean? No. Is a bubble different than that of the content in the water content? No. But it is appearing different. That's why malina-sattva-pradhānā, and that therefore always we find that when the reflection comes, reflection does not represent the truth. And it is sometimes violent surface. If the water surface is violent, you cannot see the reflection even. It is all scattered and disturbed. So here also, when our mind is scattered and disturbed, nothing you can find. There is a bundle of negative existence, fire, anger, ego, pride, meanness, unkindness, everything is a bundle of that. And where is the beauty of life? Where is the Satchidananda self? Where is the Ananda part of you? What is the joy part, peaceful part of you? So that is, this verse is indicating that it is happening Chidavas. So what do we have to do then? That's why Vedanta teaches practice, not to be ruffled by the wavy waters. No? How to come down, try to think who you are, not this rippled surface, but you are the calm, serene, that reality which is unchanging all the time. So if we look at the ocean example, is the greatest example for Vedanta to understand. Suppose so much wave and ripple going on the surface. How much is that quantity of water? Suppose you can calculate, add all the waves and the ripples and the huge billows or foams, and add all those. How much will be the quantity of water? Comparison to the deep sea, go down, down, down. If you go 1 mile, there is no flow. It is calm. It is deafening calm. People go for scuba diving, they come back with this experience, no? But what is happening? Big thing is going on. The world is ha. It is nothing in comparison to the magnitude and the reality of the ocean. Ocean water, it is also ocean water. It is rippled ocean water. We are struggling, here we are bombing, we are going, controlling the country, we are raping, slaughtering. What is going on in the surface? On the ground of that absolute, unchanging reality. And it is with me also. Beyond every ripple, if you go down the ripple, the same calm, serene ocean. So this gives the idea. It is malina-sattva-pradhānā. Because of the rough, negative aspect of it, malina means darker covering. This jiva, and jiva suffers. Jiva enjoys because of this. But when it go down to the level where there is no change, one becomes freed from all bondage. So this 29th verse, if we translate into English, it becomes like that. The individual ignorance, avidya, as we are, is due to preponderance. There is a preponderance of impure sattvika quality. There is sattvika quality. First they say tamasa quality more. In tamasa quality it may be totally covered. In human characteristic you will find there are 3 natured people, tamasic, rajasic and sattvika. Sattvika people always feel to help others, love others, not to find fault with others, giving his own life even for the good of others. No? Sattvika quality. Rajasa quality always will dominate over others. I am such a, do you know who am I? I am such big guy. Do this? No, I am a monk. The ego, not for monk, for anything. I am a learned person. I am this. I. And dominating over everyone, controlling over everyone. Tamasa is dullness, callousness, idiot.
So if I feel like doing for someone and giving something, and I take your thing and they give it to person else, so it is Shakti or Rajasi?
Your intention. All gift is coming from somebody else. You are not creating anything. You know that story we can remember where Baburam Maharaj, Swami Premananda, was one day called all the sadhus. Just they rang the bell for lunch, and he called after that. Oh, before that bell, he called all the sadhus. Say, oh, you know, you will have to go for having a flood relief. People are in distress. You will have to go just immediately, lunch, pack your thing, and go. But then, okay, so they all going to get ready. Then Baburam Maharaj said, okay, what will you give? Naturally, first question, what shall I give? As the Mott authorities will give us clothing, I will give the clothing. If they bring rice, dal, I will give that. If they give utensils, we will give the utensils. Or we will go and survey and can report to you, this is the need. Then you will send that, I will give. Well, no, I am not talking about what you are giving. They could not get out. This is a very, very subtle question. What you are giving? Well, I am giving the commodities as you gave. Well, no. You are giving porer jinis porke dibi, tui dibi ki. You are giving the thing which has been given by somebody. Some generous person give $1,000. You purchase with that material $1,000. It is his donation, and you are giving that donation to someone in a pot or pan or rice or clothing. Okay? What you are giving? You have to give love. Thing is not important. The attitude is the important. Love given with adoration, I am feeling blessed to help this suffering God in human being, or at least the man. This man is suffering, this family is suffering. I have been fortunate to hand over this. I am nobody, but it is my blessings, no? Then you get a spiritual benefit. People also, I have seen people give this same relief, people get, treating the people how meanly, unkindly, as if he is the boss. He is showing some, you brought it from someone helped you with the money, you purchased that, and you become a boss. And it's such misbehavior, as if they are all slaves and beggars begging something. No. So both attitude is there. So one makes you spiritual, another drowns you into ignorance. So the individual ignorance is due to the preponderance of the impure sattvika qualities, and is indeed of a veiling nature. Its nature is, it will cover. Individual jiva, so long we are in jiva consciousness, we are veiled, we are covered, ignorance covered. There, the jiva is a reflected consciousness. In this case, jiva, it is the sun in the sky, its reflection, which is reflected consciousness. Suppose you stand before the mirror, the image you see inside, it can be your exact figure. If it is a Belgium glass, perfectly pure, it may be concave. One you put in the, sometimes we keep some to see the face, concave and convex, two types of mirror, this side, that side. And you put the concave side, you look, how is your face? Is your face that? Because you see that? Or convex, that side? It is like that. Is it that your face? Neither this, neither that. Neither you are good, neither you are bad. You are pure. But the reflecting media is distorted. So it is the glass example. This is the example of the water example in the lake. Or the coloring of the water. The same thing will appear colored according to the coloring of the water. What the mind is colored in which way, you will see the thing the same way. So these are all not real because it is reflected, and the reflected thing it becomes distorted until and unless it has become perfect, clean surface where the reflection will be bright and brilliant. Then, as I said, first example, standing before a very beautiful glass, you see your face exactly as it is. So we see who we are, exactly that. But when it is covered with the avidya or maya or ignorance, then it is always, there is the jiva, is the reflected consciousness, and coming under the realm of ignorance, avidya, he becomes a limited knowledge. And our knowledge, that's why, very limited. As much you know is nothing, rather more is unknown than we know. So it is limited knowledge. God's knowledge, we have read the other verse, he knows everything. Because his vision is not covered, because there is cosmic maya. An individual maya is troubled with this tamasa quality, therefore it covers. It does not allow you to see. Everything is imagined in the consciousness like bubbles in the water. So all these things what we are seeing is an imagination and the bubbles of water. Okay, so we end here today. It will be 30 verse, 30-31 we will read the next day. So there is no question today. Bah, very good. Huh? No one has any question? Okay, Nishan. Okay, we end here our class, that for a few minutes question answer. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. So one question, Sri Ramakrishna encountered ghosts at Golab Ma's place. My question is, how does a soul end up as ghost? Yeah. They say, I do not know, I cannot just tell my experience, but we heard that those who commit suicide, so they become ghost. Or those who are, meaning what? Suppose some person used to live for 50 years, normal span. You know how we are born? We are born because of the fulfillment of our last life's desire. At the point of death, what one thinks, the next life leads us to that destination. There is a story, the king Bharata is to love his deer very much. He thought about deer. And he was to born as deer in the next life. It is like you take a stone before leaving this body, you do that. Suppose you are old, this car which you are running in your car, a Toyota Camry or Lexus, whatever is your car, when you are driving and it is giving trouble, you repair it, you patch it, you do it. But ultimately, it's so much troublesome, you decide, I'll give it up. When you give it up, but by that time you think, next car, I'll have a Tesla, or I'll have this. So you are always already in the plan before discarding that. So when we give up this body, last thought which comes, very important. That's why we say, do japa meditation every day. Why? Last thought. Let the last thought come about God. It will take a different direction. And if my last thought comes, I will be, next life, I will be born in a rich man's family. I'll be rich, because in this life I don't enjoy the life that much. I will be a very talented person next life, okay? Okay, like taking a stone, you have to throw. Which direction? This direction is your goal, that direction or that direction? Which direction? But when you throw that stone, the body, soul is coming out of it, and then that thought is a trajectory, it creates a trajectory, no? Boom. And when it goes, the stone started in a one point, and its direction and velocity all are set. Now it is going on, going on, going on. When MV will be 0, it will drop. So when it drops there. But that was the dropping point. Life, our life is called the normal life, is that when it has to drop natural death. No? Now, if I cut that in between, what will happen? Someone commits suicide. Cutting there. Then what will happen? Body will go away. But the desire to fulfill, the subtle body, which wanted a body, he is not in a state to go in a subtle body now. But he is already in the subtle body. But he wants to eat. How will you eat? He wants to eat. He does not relish the food, subtle body's food. He wants gross body's food. Like we take rice, dal, ice cream, whatever. But there is no mouth. I have no mouth, but I have the desire. What will happen? Then I will have to find out where I can go. A soft mind, who I can influence, and influencing that mind, through him I can eat. I can act. That is the way. I think that this is the explanation. That in the subtle body, they are in a very painful situation. They remain in the ghost body, subtle body, but they want to do something physically. But physical body is not there. Your hand is not there. Some get amputated. But I want to do something, but my hand is not there. How can I do? And now other things, machines are coming that can help. But think about that. So bodiless and the desire is fulfilled. That this body should end at a point. After finishing that period, then it will be next journey. So I think that ghost body is like that. And they remain in a subtle body. That's a very painful condition, they say. That's why no religion encourages suicide. And neither Hinduism, neither Christianity, most of the cases, no. Because that is a very troublesome life, because you want something and you have no tool to implement that. And therefore that's why we hear in India, we heard so many stories, no? Those are very soft-minded people, soft-hearted people, they get affected. Take bole bhute dhara. So, that is the idea about ghost. But Gopala's ma is to live in such a height, these ghosts cannot do anything. Thakur also, Ramakrishna also went there. He saw their ghosts. And the ghosts were very much troubled because they cannot stay near the holy people, because they have their other carnal desires to fulfill. So Thakur said he was to stay there that day with Gopala's ma in the Kamarhati. But he, seeing their condition, he left. And he told Rakhal, that why did you come back? They said, oh, there are some ghosts and they are very much disturbed. So I don't want to stay with creating trouble for them. Anything more? Thank you. Okay. So the gospel class tomorrow, my gospel class tomorrow at 7:30 here in this. Anyhow, thank you for coming, and thank you for those who are online. Main thing is that this Shanti Gita's teaching to think that we are not jiva, we are not individual soul, no tamasa, no sattiko. We don't even want sattiko covering. We want to go penetrate that covering and then come back, whatever, that's joyful thing. Don't worry about that. But first, target should be to enter into that infinite substance of our very life, the eternal I consciousness, that eternal witness, which is me. I am that reality, unchanging, undisturbed, timeless, spaceless reality. Thank you all. Jai Ma.